as you are probably well aware, I am not a conformist, guys. If you have watched the videos, seen me on TV, heard me on the radio, you know that I am not always in line marching to everyone else's tune. And that comes into play in gambling, especially at this time of season. I understand, and you know as well, that the marquee games are certainly the NBA, Western and Eastern Conference Finals. Those are the games that everybody's focusing on. Those are the games that most people are betting on. But that doesn't necessarily mean they're the best games to bet on. Last night, I gave you a free winner on the Miami Heat. Hey, I'm great. I'm thrilled that the Heat came back in the final couple minutes to turn what looked like a straight-up loss into a miraculous point spread cover. Jeff Benton, not nearly as thrilled with that play, and I'll tell you why in just a moment. But I thought the best bet was actually in baseball. Instead, I cashed in with the St. Louis Cardinals on the run line on a $1.20 dog on the Cardinals and a 5-0 win over Arizona. And it was a play that matches the second biggest play of my career in baseball. And the same thing applies again today, guys. I'm going to give you a free selection on Game 2 of the Spurs and Thunder. And I'm going to give you a free pick on Boston and Toronto in baseball as well. But I think the best bet is in baseball once more. And it happens to be another run line dog. And you're going to get access to it as the $5 play of the day. Those details coming up. One thing I want to stress, though, and I've mentioned to you many times in the past that baseball is the easiest sport to make money in. Baseball is, without a doubt, the most profitable sport if you're willing to put the time in during the dog days of summer. And baseball has also changed. The betting of baseball has changed. 15 years ago, you didn't have number 4 starters in your rotation that are 2 games over 500 for their career suddenly because they're pitching at home laying $1.80 on the money line. What has changed is that if you want to take those pitchers pitching at home or very good pitchers even on the road, you've got to go ahead and show the willingness to lay the 1.5 and play teams on the run line. And you're turning big-time favorites into nice little underdogs. And that payback, that money, that plus money, $1.20 I picked up last night, $1.45 I picked up with the Colorado Rockies over San Diego on Sunday, a play that you got free as the charity play of the week. That's how you take your baseball bankroll and you start building it. You don't get a payback and plus money, as you know, in any other sport. That's what makes baseball a beautiful thing. But one factor that I think a lot of gamblers overlook when it comes to betting baseball on the run line, you've got to look at a team's performance behind that particular pitcher. For no rhyme or reason, some guys get lots of run support and others don't. I mean, there's no scientific explanation. It's just one of those things. I look at Adam Wainwright, for example, the guy that I backed last night. One of the reasons I back him so frequently, and one of the reasons I love this guy, is that the Cardinals have won 7 of his 9 starts this season. And in 6 of those 7 wins, I believe it is, they have won those games by at least 2 runs. Well, guys, he's getting the run support. That makes him a beautiful play on the run line. So you always have to look when you're considering taking a guy on the run line. How has the team supported him? What has been their margin of victory in those games? Yeah, it's a little extra work, but you do a Google search and it's there, guys. Trust me, I'm doing it every single day for all the guys I'm considering on the run line. And again, it's one of the keys to success in betting in baseball. Okay, listen, I'm going to get to the free plays in just a moment. Since I did tell you I'm going for winner number 7 out of 9 today. Again, it's another run line dog, and you can get it as the $5 play of the day simply by using coupon code AD5. AD5. A for Al, D for DeMarco, and the number 5. Put it all together and you get it for $5. If you happen to be watching this video early enough in the day, there also is another $5 play. Matt Rivers has a $5 play of the day selection here. His bankroll building game of the month, the Reds and Nationals at 4:05 Eastern. His second biggest play of the baseball season. You save $60 and get it for $5 by using coupon code MATT5, M-A-T-T-5. Okay, the half price play of the day had won 8 out of 9 days before the Indiana Pacers collapsed last night. Listen, Jeff Benton, who has made you a bloody fortune, and you've gotten almost 3/4 of his plays over the past 5 weeks at huge discounted prices, had his third ever 159 play on the Pacers last night. He won his first 259 plays. Hell, he won a 200 play on the Pacers in game number 1 of that series, and you got them all as half-price play of the day selections. He was on the Pacers last night. You saw how the game and the cookie crumbled, the cookie being the Pacers here in the last couple minutes of regulation as the Miami Heat were lucky to sneak off with that win. So he did lose, but Again, as I always say about handicappers that have built up these huge bankrolls and are willing to show you the balls to go out and come with a big play, you got to take those shots when you have the opportunity to do so. It's like being at the craps table. You don't walk away when you're in a hot roll. No, you got to press, baby. And that's how you take little baby bankrolls and make them into full-blown adult bankrolls. Benton took the shot. He didn't win the play last night, but still, he's made his guys a bloody fortune because he's won 27 of the past 40 days, and $10 bettors are still up $8,900. $8,900 in that 40-day stretch. I wish we could all have 40 days and 40 nights like that. Listen, the half-price play of the day, as I said, has been on an incredible roll, and today I decided to turn to Shawn Michaels. He's going for winning day number 98 out of 151. He's got his 109 Western Conference Finals Game of the Year, the Spurs Thunder side. 31-13-1. 31-13-1. That is Shawn Michaels' record with 109 max wager plays over the past 25 weeks. 31-13-1. Including a 3-0 sweep last week, which started with the Thunder outright at LA in Game 6 of the semifinals last Thursday. And you got all three of those 109 winners, including the Cardinals on Friday and the Oakland A's. It was on Saturday in baseball, all as half-price play of the day selections. And you get today's play as the half-price play of the day as well. Keep in mind, he is a perfect 5-0 over the past 2 weeks, and you've got every single one of those selections at discount. $10 bettors have won $26,790 following his betting advice the past 11 months, and the coupon code to get his play at half price today is ANOTHER. No, it's just the word, ANOTHER. 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 That's your code to get Shawn Michaels at half price today. The 777 triple play, Anthony Redd's second biggest NBA play of the entire season, as Western Conference Finals total of the year. It's an 80-dime play, number 11 out of 16. It's the over-under. He had a 70-dime play in game number 1 going over by 16 points. This play is even stronger. You get it for $7.77 by using the coupon code RED777. Now remember, that's REDD 777. REDD 777. FYI, Craig Davis, who I've told you many times, he lives outside of the Oklahoma City area. He has been incredible with his plays involving the Thunder. Over the past 3 years, regular and postseason, he has a 50-dime play on the over-under tonight. He and A-Red are on the exact same total selection for this game. And keep in mind, Craig Davis has won 53 of the last 91 days, making $10 bettors a cool $7,400. So he's been hot as well. And he had a 50-dime winner last night on the Miami Heat. So again, A-Red and Craig Davis have the same total selection. There's your little consensus and your heads up from me. Now, let's talk about the game between San Antonio and Oklahoma City here tonight. I could talk about how miserable it was in Miami the past couple of days, but geez, I don't think the Miami Chamber of Commerce is going to be giving me any awards. But since I did happen to just broach that subject, let me just take a quick minute to just bash that damn town one more time. Listen, I fly constantly. I rent cars constantly. I probably rent about 30 cars a year. I don't know if when you go and rent cars, if you ever fall victim or fall prey to that, hey, do you want to take that refueling option? Total joke. You would never want them to refuel your car because remember, they're refueling your car and charging you for a full tank of gas. What, are you going to return the car on empty? You're going to return the car with a quarter of a tank, a half a tank. You know who makes money? Every single one of the car rental companies. They're charging you for a full tank and you're giving them gas back. It doesn't make any sense, especially since there's gas stations everywhere. Even if you've never flown in to Sioux Falls or ever flown into Vegas or ever flown into Miami, there's a gas station somewhere. Of course, you also got to watch out. At the Miami airport, the gas station directly diagonal across from the entrance to the car rental center. Yesterday, stopping on I-95 about 5 minutes before the airport, I paid like $3.54 a gallon for gas to fill up the car, okay? Directly across from the airport, $4.99 at the Chevron station. $4.99. Listen, price gouging, I understand. Getting absolutely screwed up a certain part of your anatomy, that's just ridiculous. And yet, I'm thinking to myself afterwards, they got 3 service bays, but they must be selling a lot of gas to people who don't care what they're paying at those exorbitant prices, because otherwise, how could they stay in business? But, hey, let me just get back on target here. I regress a little bit, but the rental car, returning a rental car at the Miami airport, it's an effing nightmare. You pull into the rental car facility and they've got the speed bumps like every 13 feet. Listen, in my Camaro, my personal car, I go over speed bumps at about 2.5 miles per an hour, okay? Because anything harder, and you get ejected from the car. It's a rental car? Did you think I cared about the Ford Edge yesterday I had? Boom, I'm going over those babies at 30 miles an hour because I want to get out of the car. I know it's a long walk to get back into the terminal. Unfortunately, all those other dummies in front of me, they insisted on going 3 miles per hour. Just to get to the Alamo Return Center, which is on the 3rd level, must have been an 8-minute drive, right? Then you check in the car. You got to walk in that stifling heat inside that, concrete shelter. You walk in there. You got to walk to get into the terminal, of course. Then you got to take the moving sidewalks, right? You take the moving sidewalks, and in the Miami airport, it's like walking on rubber trampolines. When I went to Paris a couple summers ago, you go to Charles de Gaulle Airport, and it's the weirdest thing. First of all, the airport's weird, but then you take these walking sidewalks, and they're bouncy. They're bouncy. It's like if you want to walk fast, forget about it. It's like walking on a trampoline. Miami Airport has the same thing. No air conditioning in this section, I swear to God, of the entire airport. So you're sweating up a storm. You're walking 2 of these moving escalators, and then you come to an elevator. You come to this one elevator that you got to take to another floor to get to the next section of moving escalators, which brings you to the little tram car. Now, the little tram car, and it's hot as hell in there. Little tram car takes you down. It finally puts you into the terminal. I'm telling you guys, 25 minutes for me just to pull in, get the damn car back, and get to the gate. Which for many of you out there that, heed to the advice given to get to the airport 2 hours early, it probably doesn't bother you. When I get to the airport less than an hour before my flight, which I always do, it's a little disconcerting. But anyway, again, as I said, the Miami Chamber of Commerce, I don't think they're going to elect me Man of the Year since I bashed the town so much. It is one of the worst places I've ever had to travel. I hate it. Unfortunately, Steve's office is in Miami. Matt Rivers is in Miami. I can't think of any good reason to go to Miami other than that. But let's detour now and talk about the Spurs and Thunder. I feel better. I've gotten this off my chest. Can you tell I'm wound up today? Spurs are a 6-point favorite here. What happened in game number 1? Spurs dominated the game. They were up by 15 points. Suddenly, 4.5 minutes to go in the 3rd quarter. Hey, here come the Thunder. They're up by 1 point. Yes, the Spurs did pull away. They iced them down the final part of the game. A couple of the problems, as I pointed out in my analysis prior to game number 1, without Serge Ibaka, 3rd leading scorer on the Thunder, but more importantly, their only true rim defender, Kendrick Perkins, he's a big lug back there. Ibaka was a difference maker. If you look at the 4-0 regular season sweep for the Thunder, you saw that when Ibaka was on the floor as opposed to when he was on the bench, the Spurs, when Ibaka was on the floor, averaged almost 12 points fewer per 100 possessions. Well, you saw, without Ibaka, the Spurs just drove the lane relentlessly. Look at Tony Parker playing with that hamstring strain, 14 points and 12 assists. The pick and roll was working with Duncan. Basically, the Spurs just abused the Thunder in the paint. I think they had 66 points in the paint, nearly doubling the Thunder's total. The other problem for the Thunder in game number 1 with Ibaka out is they started Nick Collison and they gave Steven Adams more minutes. Well, those two guys in 33 combined minutes went 2 for 6 for 4 points, 5 rebounds, and 2 blocks. You got to get a little production from the guys that are replacing Ibaka. Now, did Durant and Westbrook have big games? Yeah, they combined for 53 points, but they needed 40 shots to do so. So when you look overall at the Thunder, who got some nice contributions from the bench from Derek Fisher and Reggie Jackson, who combined for 29 points, you can see why this team lost by a double-digit margin. There were so many problems. And yet I'm willing to take a shot on the Thunder here tonight. I think the Spurs, everything that could possibly go right for them, other than that short 5-minute stretch in the 3rd quarter, did. I think tonight the Thunder realize that this is a game that they've got to win. Do I think they can win this game? Absolutely not. I didn't think they would win game number 6 at LA either, but I thought they'd keep it close, and that's what I think is going to happen here tonight. That's why I'm willing to take the 6 points. And listen, you got to shop around, because in Vegas right now, a lot of places, this line has dropped to 5.5. Offshore, you're pretty much 6 across all the major places I checked out with. But like, for example, earlier I was checking over at the Wynn, and it was 5.5 points about an hour ago, and I'm doing this report at 11:45 in the morning right now. So, listen, I know that the Spurs have been dominant at home in the postseason, winning 7 out of 8 games, the last 5 by an average of 20-some points a game. I also realize the Spurs are well aware of what happened 2 years ago when they took on the Thunder and jumped out to the 2-0 lead in their series and then watched the Thunder win the next 4. I just don't think the Thunder are just going to collapse here tonight. I think they're going to probably play a little more small ball. I think the Thunder are going to be more productive offensively. They're going to try to do a little better job, obviously, down low and on the boards, which I wouldn't be surprised, but I think that Scotty Brooks, instead of going small, will probably replace Collison in the starting lineup with Adams. And Adams had played very well and acquitted himself fine in the first 2 rounds of the playoffs, coming off the bench with an average of about 8 points and 8 rebounds a game, and I think over 3 blocks a game as well. So anyway, I think the Thunder plus the points are the way to go here in game number 2 as they try to make a series of it. I don't think they win. Listen, I would even probably think about a teaser. You could take... Let's see. Would I take the Spurs down to -2? You can tell I'm doing this off the top of my head. Would I take the Spurs down to -2 or would I take the Thunder plus the 10? I think you could go either way. I think you could do a teaser with the sides, taking the Spurs down to 2 and the Thunder up to 10 and go for that nice little middle. I think probably the more productive way to play a teaser in this game would be to take the total down the 4 points and then raise the Thunder up to 10 or take the Spurs -2. I think either way, if you take the total down and play the over, and as I said, Spurs -2, Thunder -10, I think you could go either way. So I think a teaser is an interesting possibility here tonight. But again, I think the Thunder plus the points really is the way to go. Okay, let's talk about the baseball free selection. I'm going to go with the Toronto Blue Jays. They're about a 115 to 120 dog against the Red Sox. Drew Hutchinson coming off a 3-hit shutout of Texas on Friday. He's got a 2.43 earned run average and 6 road starts this season, which is a damn good thing considering his home ERA in 3 starts at the Rogers Center is over 7. Clay Buchholz is not the Clay Buchholz we've seen in previous years. He has an ERA over 6. I mean, this is the thing that is most upsetting when you're looking at him if you're thinking about betting on Buchholz. Buchholz this year has pitched 42 1/3 innings, 62 hits, 14 walks. Do the math. That's 76 base runners in 42 innings. You don't win many games when you have that many base runners, and that's why you've got an ERA that's over 6. So even though he's 10-5 lifetime with a 2.52 earned run average against Toronto in 18 career starts, even though he beat them back on April 26, I've got to go against the Red Sox here tonight. Boston's lost 5 straight games. They've only scored 10 runs in them. They're 0-4 in this current homestand. The Blue Jays, they've won 6 of their last 8. They're 3-1 on their current road trip. They've won 6 of their last 7 on the highway. They're hitting the ball again. So I think this is a good spot to jump on Toronto. So the Blue Jays as a road dog, the Thunder as a road dog, and avoid the Miami airport at all costs. That's my advice for you today. Go forth, make money, and I'll talk to you again tomorrow.